Chaos Stunt Show, where you become part of the movie action. An earthquake causes chaos right before your eyes. And a roller coaster ride where you're blasted into an Aerosmith rock music video. It's all in a theme park right in the heart of Europe. Walt Disney Studios, Paris. This is Paris, known as the City of Light, the artistic and cultural hub of Europe, dominated by the world's most recognizable landmark, the Eiffel Tower. For 2,000 years, Paris has straddled the River Seine, withstanding revolutions, sieges, and foreign occupation. Today, Paris remains a city to see and to be seen in. A city of history, a city of romance. Just the recipe for a Disney theme park.
Obviously, Mickey Mouse is coming from the United States, but I think what we created in the Walt Disney Studios is a theme park that shows that cinema finds its roots also in Europe. And we try to be educational as well as fun, but that's why we wanted to be in the heart of Europe in Paris.
Disney's newest theme park is like a working movie lot. You can visit real sets from the movies, watch a Disney TV studio in action, and even design your own roller coaster, then ride it. Walt Disney Studio Park opened in 2002 on 61 hectares of former farmland, some 20 miles to the east of the French capital, right next door to what is now Disneyland Resort Paris.
What we have done by creating this new park is to create a resort concept. So the major change being people were using the park as a 1 day or 2 days experience, now to extend to a 3 or 4 days experience.
In the Walt Disney Studios Park, we wanted to create the feeling of a real-life working studio. And there's a thematic treatment of architecture and sense of place. And we use techniques such as prop placement, colors, architectural detail to get that message across. We're telling you a story without you being aware that we're telling you a story.
The wildest ride in the park is the Rock and Roller Coaster, featuring Aerosmith. Riders are blasted headlong into the middle of a pulsating rock music video. The construction of this ride had designers going back to the roller coaster handbook. There were 2 massive loops, inversions, and a corkscrew. In fact, it is the fastest and most ambitious Disney coaster ever attempted. What's more, they wanted the ride undercover, so the engineers took the unusual step of constructing the ride first, then erecting the building around it.
It's not simply a roller coaster, it's actually Aerosmith that are actually here. You're inside this Tour de Force Records, you're going through the reception, you get inside the recording studio, and there you join Aerosmith for this great technological advancement.
Exhaustive stress tests were conducted. The ride hit 70 miles per hour in just 2.8 seconds. That's the same G-force as experienced by a fighter pilot launching his jet from an aircraft carrier.
To design the lighting to be effective and to move, you have to know exactly where the vehicle is and what it's going to look like to the guests. Timing is the biggest challenge for the design because the vehicles are moving so fast. They're twisting and turning, and they're flying through the truss and over the truss and around the building. We have over 300 moving lights within the attraction, and in a typical concert you might have 50 to 100. So it's a huge challenge to do a huge over-the-top light show, and you've got about 50 seconds to do it. I have a very experienced lighting control programmer who works with me, who does concerts. And it's a real partnership between us to create this. But because we're on the floor and we're looking up several 30 meters into the air, we actually need to stop, come out, ride the vehicle, and actually see it from the guest point of view.
That was awesome, dude.
It's wild. You really got to do it. The tears are in my eyes, but it's wonderful.
It's echt incredible, really. It's fantastic. You guys want to go again?
Yeah! If this puts your stomach in knots, wait till you see the Cyber Coaster.
Welcome to the Cyberspace Mountain Design Station, where you can design a roller coaster that's out of this world.
Yes, you heard the guy right. You can be just like a Disney designer and create your own virtual roller coaster ride at Cyberspace Mountain.
Of course, faster than light travel is theoretically impossible, but it's cool.
Plot a course of loops, inversions, and hairpins through a virtual landscape on a strange alien planet. Make it as gentle or radical as you dare.
Now let's see how scary your coaster is. Great, your coaster's ready to ride at the Cyberspace Mountain Launch Bay.
That's right, you get to ride your own creation. Step into the motion simulator and get ready to personally sample every stomach-churning loop and curl you just designed. The simulator follows your program track, and those loop-the-loops you inserted become horribly real.
Oh, no, here we go.
Each ride is unique, a product of your own imagination and Disney's technology.
Oi, oi. It was completely different to what I thought, to be honest. It was like, I thought it'd be nothing, it'd just be a TV screen, but it does really feel like you're actually on a ride. It feels, it knocks you about a bit anyway.
Next on Inside Walt Disney Studios Paris, fast cars, fast action, the hottest stunt show in Europe. Walt Disney Studios Park, Mickey Mouse's European vacation centerpiece. You want action? You found it. The hottest attraction is the Stunt Show Spectacular. It's not just a show, it's a chance for an audience to see how an action scene would be shot for a feature film. It's a larger-than-life movie set, complete with all the action.
Look, you got yellows and blues and greens.
The setting for the show is a Mediterranean village, and the design team spared no expense to get it right. After searching all over France for inspiration, they found a little fishing village in the south, and then set about recreating that very same scene in the backlots of Walt Disney Studios.
We've opened the show, we've cast all the people, we've brought them down, we've got them dressed up, we've turned them into extras, into stagehands.
Right. It was a massive project that Walt's nephew, Roy Disney, kept a keen eye on. Especially when it came time for the stunt drivers to try the set on for size.
He's a showman. He's a showman for sure.
And speaking of showmen, driving this car is one of the best. Romuald "Sonny" Vernon put a successful career in movie and television stunt work on hold to head up the stunt drivers in the show. He worked with Europe's best stunt designers to choreograph the chase sequences and precision driving.
The concept of the show is how to make a movie. And for that, we need actors, SFX, video, audio, and as well, the stuntman.
Today we're going to show you what goes into making action-packed stunt sequences. My name's Jack. I'm the second unit director, and I'm in charge of today's shoot. We're just about ready. Let's run a camera check, Tony.
And I'm Amanda. I'm the second assistant director, and we're going to need your help. Okay, we're looking for first group of actors. Who wants to be in a movie?
The story is, there is a secret agent who has to take an envelope, the secret envelope. And there are the bad guys and the good guys. And the bad guys has to catch the envelope from the hero.
Okay, people, we're ready. Let's do it. Show me the slate.
Valley Chase sequence 6, take 1.
Okay, cue the first group of extras.
Okay.
So it's your standard bad guy chases good guy, secret envelope kind of plot. But hey, who really cares?
So now you're worried, okay?
This attraction is all about the glamour of movie making, together with fast guys with fast guns in fast cars. The whole sequence is shot from several angles, including a mini helicopter, operated by remote control. No chopper pilot's gonna get that close. The cars have a 1300cc motorbike engine and weigh just 1,300 pounds. They're less than half the weight of a normal car, but 2.5 times more powerful. That means there's no room for error. This is precision stunt work with high stakes.
If they make a mistake, one mistake, it can be a very big problem for the show. Because if one car hits another one, that's a very big problem.
The drivers push themselves and their stunts right to the limit. They use every trick in the book, including putting a car up on 2 wheels. But for Romuald, it's all in the family. Back in 1953, his father became the first stuntman in the world to drive a car like this. The Stunt Show Spectacular lives up to its name. It's a hair-raising scene of Hollywood proportions, a definite highlight of a day at Walt Disney Studios, Paris. At first, France might seem an odd place to build a theme park dedicated to cinema, animation, and television. But in fact, Paris is the birthplace of film.
You know, the ideas and the technology has been taken to the United States, and then they created the first movies. But you know, the magic lamp comes from Prague, not from the United States.
This is the magic lamp, or lantern, modeled here in the shape of the Eiffel Tower for exhibition at the World Fair in Paris in 1889. It's a basic slide projector powered by a flame. Along with other similar creations from around Europe, these were the cutting-edge technology of the time. A year later, there was a huge technological leap when a Frenchman, Etienne Marey, designed the first movie camera, and the Lumiere brothers produced the very first moving picture. This was the beginning of a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I think what we created in the Walt Disney Studios is a theme park that shows that cinema finds its roots also in Europe.
Disney creatives decided to capitalize on cinema's European heritage, and they dreamt up an attraction that draws inspiration from Walt Disney's own passion, animation. They put it all under Mickey Mouse's Sorcerer's Apprentice hat.
As we all know, everything started with a mouse, and at Walt Disney Imagineering, our emblem is Mickey dressed as the Sorcerer's Apprentice, and that was Mickey in his first full-length animated feature, The Sorcerer's Apprentice, as part of Fantasia.
Here is Lascaux is actually where the animation began.
Art of Disney Animation takes you through the history of the moving image, starting with a recreation of paintings discovered on the walls of caves in Spain.
15,000, 20,000 years ago, there were cavemen who were, amazingly enough, trying to create motion with pictures by drawing animals with more than 4 legs, for instance, and they were animators 15,000 years ago.
Much later, European inventors began exploring with a phenomenon known as the persistence of vision, where the brain retains an image for slightly longer than our eyes actually see it. By rotating a series of still images over and over, they discovered you can create the illusion of motion.
If you think about that and then you invent film, you have animation.
That's when Walt arrived on the scene and opened his first studios in 1923. He was based in Hollywood, but most of the inspiration was coming from European fairy tales. In fact, 14 of the 17 animated films made during Walt's lifetime were drawn from European legends and fables. Walt and his team very quickly became world leaders in animation, taking the craft to higher levels with new technology. Here's Walt Disney himself explaining one of his team's inventions.
This is the plan for a super cartoon camera. We call it the multiplane camera. Now, when you walk along a country road toward the moon, it certainly doesn't grow larger like this, nor does it shrink in size when you walk away from it. The trouble was we were photographing a flat two-dimensional background. So we set about making plans and blueprints for a new cartoon camera that would overcome this. The different elements in the scene were separated according to their varying distances from the viewer. This put the moon on a plane farthest away from the camera. With our original picture broken down in this manner, it is possible to control the relative speed with which each individual part of it moves to or away from the camera. But the moon remains absolutely still, and so it will always remain the same, neither growing nor shrinking in size.
You can see that actual multi-plane camera that won Walt 2 Oscars on display.
Le dessinateur doit insuffler la vie à son personnage.
The art of Disney animation is a comprehensive look at all aspects of the craft.
C'est pour cela que l'on surnomme les
There are demonstrations by real animators. It's all in French, but is simultaneously translated into 5 other languages. Disney's plan was to create a blend of education and entertainment with all kinds of interactive animation experiences.
When you want to draw a cycle or something like this, you have to use the entire arm, all right?
Ever wanted to draw one of the Disney characters yourself?
Then after that, we're going to draw a huge banana for the smile, all right? It's a
The Animation Academy teaches you step by step how to do it. Even the youngest of amateur artists come out of the Academy with a positive result.
Pour l'expression du caractère.
They shouldn't be afraid to draw. I think a lot of kids are a little kind of scared, you know, that won't do it right. And just going ahead and drawing things is a great lesson.
Coming up on Inside Walt Disney Studios Paris, an earthquake catastrophe which will wash you away. Disneyland Resort Paris, in the heart of Europe. If you're contemplating a visit, don't expect to see it all in a day. It is a full vacation concept with 7 themed hotels. You can choose Manhattan Skyline, Santa Fe style, or good old Davy Crockett. The idea is you'll never have to leave the resort. At the studios, first stop is the #1 soundstage. Inside, a recreation of Hollywood's most famous mythical avenue, the Boulevard of Dreams.
It's a street that never actually existed in Hollywood, but always exists in our hearts and our imaginations.
Schwab's Pharmacy was real, though. It was a favorite hangout for writers and actors looking for work. And the Brown Derby was a well-known Beverly Hills restaurant in the shape of a bowler hat, where movie stars came out to wine and dine. The Boulevard of Dreams represents the glamorous public face of Hollywood's movie industry. But if you want to get behind the scenes of the movies, head for the Backlot Express.
The backlot part of a studio, there's a lot of different disciplines, you know, building and carpentry and painters and rigging and electricians, and that's where those guys would come to eat in a place like this. And that's why thematically this restaurant has got such a gritty working man feel to it.
While you eat, you can look around and see any number of movie props. Like the speeder bike from Star Wars Episode 6, The Return of the Jedi. Or the New York models used during filming of the meteor shower in Armageddon.
When they're wrapping up a production, they'll give us a call and we'll go scuttling on down there or send somebody down and see if there's anything interesting that we can recover for our uses.
These full-scale replica World War II American fighter planes were used in the film Pearl Harbor. They were lying around a studio backlot and had fallen into a state of disrepair. After extensive renovations, the planes were ready for exhibition in the park. Then there's the vehicle collection, the envy of any car enthusiast.
This is where we store our star cars, and we have a numerous collection of vehicles. We have a submarine from the miniseries Dinotopia. We have an armored truck and a police car from Con Air and Armageddon. We have the Humvee, which is from The Rock. We have 2 different period black and white California police cars that have been used in very numerous movies. We have this beautiful piece with a company with its sister taxi vehicle, which was from Pearl Harbor. And I'd like you to take a look at this Cadillac here, because this is a special Cadillac. It was used in one of our gangster movies, and as you can see, we've adapted it to be appropriate for the scene. This car, I'm sure you can guess which movie this came from. The black and white spots, does it mean anything to you? It comes from the 102 Dalmatians film. As does my favorite, which is the Citroën that was driven by Gérard Depardieu in the 102 Dalmatians film as well.
There's an incredible attention to detail in the park, where, in true Disney style, no expense has been spared to make it real.
We have a lot of movie-making equipment in the park that we use as props, and all of that is real. All of the lights, all of the sandbags, all of the cameras, all of the flight cases, everything you see out there is real. We went out and bought real movie-making equipment to use as props.
The best way to see the park's most prized props, location sets, and special effects scenery is on the Studio Tram Tour. You'll see the massive pterodactyl statue sets from the TV series Dinotopia. The highlight of the tour is the special effects stage, Catastrophe Canyon. The tour suddenly becomes part of a scene. The carriages rock on what filmmakers call a hot set. And a full-scale earthquake is underway. Tons of water cascade down, threatening to wash away everything in its path, including the tour. The major challenge of Catastrophe Canyon was marrying the flames and explosions with a seemingly uncontrolled body of water. Not an easy task for the Disney engineers.
The water effect for this attraction, the way this works is that we have large tanks up behind the rockwork. They hold 265,000 liters of water. Prior to the tram coming into the attraction, they're filled. They're verified to be at the correct height. The gates are verified everything is verified as sealed and shut and ready for the show. The entire contents of these tanks release and come cascading down these ravines in about a 5 to 10 second time frame. It is quite spectacular.
Water even cascades from above the tram tour in a cataclysmic finale. Then it's on with the tour and another set. This time you're in downtown London, but you can see by the looks on faces something dreadful has taken place. It's battle-scarred and scorched. The set is from the special effects-packed feature film Reign of Fire. In the film, a dragon is disturbed and London destroyed in an apocalyptic battle. Disney's challenge was to pull the set down from its Dublin home and recreate it faithfully in Paris.
For me, the most logistically difficult was the real train wagon that we bought. Real live 40-ton, 30-meter-long train wagon that we bought and then had to clean up, structurally reinforce, paint, build 2 enormous towers for it to sit on because it looks like it's falling off a bridge. And then we had to hire 2 massive cranes, build in special attachments so we could pick the train up and gently lift it down, bolt it down onto the columns, and that was quite an event.
In the movie, computer-generated special effects enhance the scenes, but here on set, they rely on blasts of fire and the roars of a reptile. This is a London you'll never forget. Still to come on Inside Walt Disney Studios Paris, what it takes to make the best theme parks in the world. Disney theme parks are all about family fun. Each park is meticulously put together by what Walt Disney himself termed Imagineers. That's an engineer with imagination. Walt Disney Studios Paris began life as an open field, and the dreams and fantasies of Disney's creatives went to work to build a dream park from scratch.
Well, Imagineering is the blending of creative imagination and technical know-how. And Imagineering was created in 1952 to create Disneyland.
Walt Disney Imagineers are some of the craziest, most fun people on the planet. They are exactly what the name stands for. They are imagination experts and they are engineers.
Roland Cleave was opening crew operations manager. His biggest challenge, installing the water tower, a Disney trademark.
It had to be transported on a huge truck that was specifically made. We had to prepare in advance, way in advance, the exact route that we had to drive. You know, some of the route had electrical wiring and cabling that we had to disconnect. And finally it arrived at the Walt Disney Studios in different elements, so we had to build it in front of the entrance of the park. If you go from a drawing board to the first construction wearing a hard hat and boots, and you know, you're trying to see and to fine-tune how you create a park, up until the day that the first guests really come and visit, and they clap and they applaud, and you see tears of laughter. That's when it comes to life, and I think that is a very beautiful period to experience.
It's Imagineers who get to decide which Disney characters are featured in the park. At Walt Disney Studios Paris, the genie from Aladdin gets his own ride. The Imagineers made it colorful and cartoon-like. A family-friendly affair with an exotic Arabian Nights theme. But the Imagineers decided to give the ride a filmmaker's twist.
Trying to figure out how to put this flying carpet ride in the studio. And what happens is, apparently Genie from Aladdin Now he's a very successful actor. Like all successful actors, now he wants to direct. And so Genie is directing us in his production of Flying Carpets over Agrabah. So we're the extras, and he's yelling encouragement and inspiration to us. People, work with me, smile, smile. So he's being our director, and we're the extras in his film.
So, in their own way, Imagineers turned what was just a normal ride in a theme park into a special film-based attraction for the studios. They want every guest to feel like they're on a working set. Around every corner, a little moment of movie magic is underway. In the Boulevard of Dreams, the movies come to you. A blonde starlet and camera crew are enough to tell you a film shoot is underway, and you get to be the co-star.
You can see the interactivity between the guests and our products every day. The shows are becoming more and more brilliant because of the fact that the guests become involved. So it makes the magic go right through the screen.
The star steadies herself, the extras are hustled, special effects added, and the cameras roll. And you've just had front row seats in the making of a movie. It's a wrap. Move on to the next scene. Studio 2 is reminiscent of a 1930s Hollywood movie palace.
Bonjour, santé s'il vous plaît.
And it's home to Cinemagique.
Sometimes people don't want the biggest, fastest, most high-tech attraction. They want emotion and stories. Nobody does that better than Disney.
Cinemagique is all about being transported through the silver screen and living the adventures of our favorite movie characters. Our hero is played by comedian Martin Short. He's cleverly plunged into a series of film genres from both American and European movie history. During the adventure, he falls in love with the leading lady, Julie Delpy.
This doesn't look good.
By the end, our hero is faced with the dilemma. Does he return to the real world or follow his heart? What he ends up deciding is a Disney secret that can only be revealed in the attraction. Paris is no stranger to fairground attractions, but on the outskirts of the city, Disneyland Park and its studios offshoot have raised the bar when it comes to 21st century entertainment. All over the world, Disney Imagineers refer to their parks as theme shows. And this Disney theme show is all about being behind the scenes of cinema, animation, and television.
When Disney first created the Disney theme show, he basically had people from the studio that came in and worked for him, and we basically created a theme park which was like a cinema with all the seats deleted. The difference between a film and the Disney theme show is that in a film, there's a linear storyline from start to finish. And in our parks, you can choose your own destination, you can choose your own story.
Every day, thousands of visitors pour into the park, some with a plan in mind, others happy to just let the day unfold. But they can guarantee whatever they do, a Disney Imagineer has had a hand in it. Every ride, even a souvenir stand, must have a reason for being there.
Every detail in our parks has to be backed up with a story, even if the guest doesn't realize it. For us, in terms of our design, it guides us through the whole design process. All of the elements flow from the structural guideline, which is the story. It's the essence which differentiates the Disney theme show from any other.
Next on Inside Walt Disney Studios Paris, the meteor attack that will blow you away. Recognize this vehicle? It's the armadillo that came straight from the movie set of Armageddon. And this is Armageddon, the theme park attraction. Guests enter from planet Earth, but very quickly find themselves in a Russian space station 70 miles above the planet. And in the middle of a terrifying flaming meteor shower. The attraction took 2 years of development and presented some engineering challenges. Firstly, the close proximity of the fire effects to the guests needed a lot of attention. After all, the idea was to frighten them, not fry them. Secondly, space is a vacuum. So when the space station is penetrated by a meteor, to be realistic, all the air should be sucked out.
How did we do that? Well, we actually did it. We actually pull a vacuum on the room. It's a gigantic technical feat that we've accomplished.
Not that the guests care about the technology. They're just here to have fun.
We really want you to believe that you're really there. We're telling a story, and we're telling it with conviction. You know, you're really on the space station. You have these asteroids that are arriving. There's collisions in there. And, you know, at that moment, we really want you to believe that that's where you are.
Liquid nitrogen and steam are used to create havoc. The very same techniques utilized during the filming of Armageddon.
In the case of a theme park, of course, it's a little bit more controlled, and it has to be exactly the same every time. On a movie set, you've got multiple takes to get it right. So it's as close as the audience is going to get to experiencing exactly what the actors did.
And at least one actor from the movie approves of the ride.
I cannot wait to get to Paris to see this. That is going to be so exciting. Everybody, you have got to see this. This is what I've been waiting for.
Back on the streets, you could be anywhere in the world.
We're dealing with so many people from so many different cultures and so many different nationalities that we really don't want to put signs everywhere so that people have to read things in different languages. So we try and communicate visually.
My guests speak Spanish, Italian, German, English, French, and who knows how many other languages. I have to come up with ideas and quick gestures, music, a little wink of the eye to get them to understand whether I want them to laugh, cry, applaud, dance, sing, be part of the action. The fact that we are in this multicultural continent of Europe really brings home the fact that Disney stories are for everybody.
The characters are the ambassadors for the Disney images. It's what the children want and expect to see when they walk in the front gate. So the Imagineers at the Paris studios came up with a way of blending Disney characters with a European cinema and theatrical technique. They call it Animagic. Mickey and Donald lead their audience on an animation adventure that turns real. The innovation is the use of blacklight and fluoro colors to make a 3D extravaganza.
Well, blacklight was something that's been known about, but new technologies have enabled new color ranges to be present and better lighting, and allows us to do something that has a full chromatic spectrum.
Blacklight theater is a specialized art form, a favorite in Central Europe. Puppet builders and set decorators have to work in special lighting conditions, taking care with phosphorus paints. Under normal lights, the effect is dull. But under ultraviolet light, the vibrant colors come to life. Animagic was commissioned specially for the park. So everything, even the music score, was created from the ground up. The puppeteers are dressed in black and become invisible under the ultraviolet light, while the bright colors of the puppets come to life. In a surreal dance, they float and even fly in the darkness.
If you're seated in one place, you could even, I don't know if it's possible to drop the other rod against your body and use both hands We'll pull it in like that.
Yeah.
The puppeteers had to undertake intense training to coordinate and synchronize their movements in complete darkness. In fact, they even took classes in Tai Chi to perfect their perception of space.
At times we have 17 people, puppeteers dressed in black, manipulating these objects on stage, and the audience, to them, is just magic. They don't see the manipulation.
A favorite at every Disney theme park is the Daily Street Parade. In keeping with the studio's movie lot feel, this parade has a distinct Hollywood flavor.
Lights, camera, action, 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 action.
Disney Cinema Parade is the absolutely most wonderful way of bringing about parts of the cinema, the icons that we use to create a film. You need a camera, you need a script, you need a clapboard. What about the sound? What about the orchestra? And what about the audience?
Break. Take 5 while we reset.
All right, we're on break. Take 5.
Right there before your eyes, the parade stops on the street, and you are invited to become part of the film.
The first Disney theme park opened in 1955. Walt himself could never have imagined half a century on his dream coming to life in Paris.
For me, the highlights are the rock and roller coaster. It's a really thrill to ride that thing.
Today I was on the stunt show, got picked. And I had to run around screaming, pretending people were shooting at me. It was really, really good.
The tour on the bus, superb.
You can be a kid here, and it's accepted for all people who comes here. It's very nice to be once again a child.
Rewind from the top, please.
Stand by.
It's the child in everyone, which has made Disney theme parks so popular. So, what's next? Well, as Walt himself once said, as long as there's imagination in the world, theme parks will never be finished. And cut! That's a wrap!
Hi, Tracy Gallagher for the Travel Channel. Are you looking for the world's best collection of luxury cars? Then head on over to Symbolic Motors of Beverly Hills. But if you want to burn some rubber, you got to have money to burn. Like $235,000 for this Bentley or this Lamborghini for a mere $287 grand. And for more of the world's best, from the top 10 hippest hotels to the wildest rides of your life, we're counting them down on